Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. And we're finally going to start putting together the queen list. That's right. Finally going to venture away from black in the decks that I build. Not because I want to, but or not because I, you know, how do I say? I don't know what I was just trying to say. But I really wanted to try this deck because I've been leaning towards yellow a lot lately. One thing that really resonates with me as a player is the way yellow gains life, because it feels the most like control to me in this game. Because, you know, getting these like super high level triggers, or not even high level, but these super beneficial high impact triggers like Boa Hancock, Beige, Brûlé, Sanji, of course, and any of this stuff down here, it just seems good to me, right? It just seems very good. And when you're playing like this, you know, 10 of these big cards, this package here of just 10 beaters that can just gain you life and just keep everything moving, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. And so let me just go ahead and run through the list real quick. I'm running 4. Let me zoom out a little so y'all can see it better, and it's easier for me to read it. So I'm running 4 Kaya, 2 Strucin, 4 Boa Hancock, 2 Brûlé, excuse me, 2 Perona, 4 Gang Beige, 4 Doflamingo, 4 Sanji, 2 Katakuri, 4 Mihawk, 4 Yamato, 2 Gum Gum Rain, 4 Desert Spada, 4 3000 Worlds, and 4 Red Rocks. So high removal, high control list here, lots of life gain, and just a lot going on overall. So let me kind of break down my thought process here. So I'm going to be coming out with a video soon talking about this. Like, I think it's a good deck building process. But ultimately, I'm running 5 different groups of 10, okay? And it's a good way to build your list. And again, I have a video coming out on that soon. I might make it the next video. We'll see what happens. It's the same method I use for the black-yellow deck. And it doesn't work with all lists. I'm just going to be honest. Well, I mean, it does, but it's not as effective on every list. Let me say it like that. It can be used by anyone, and I'll explain how. So the idea is you're going to run 10 2K counters, 10 boss drops, bruisers you could call them, 10 event cards down here. Now this Desert Spada is a little bit different. 10 utility cards, that's where this Desert Spada comes in. And then 10 what I call filler cards, like blockers or aggro cards if you're playing a more aggressive list. And again, I'm going to have an entire video talking about that, but for now I'll just go over just the idea here. I've got 10 2K counters. It's 4 Kayas, 4 Beige, 2 Strucin. I've got 10 utility blockers in the form of 4 Boa Hancock, 2 Charlotte Brûlé, and 4 Sanji, where they're trigger blockers. Maybe that's a better way. But I call them utility cards because it won't be a trigger blocker if I was playing a red deck, right? It would be something else. It'd be like a searcher or something like that. And none of these numbers are set in stone. You can change them around as you need to, but it does work out very nicely like this. I will say that. It's very clean. So then I'm running 10 searchers, and that is, I should call them setters, 10 setters, where I have 2 Perona, 4 Doflamingo, and 4 Desert Spada. For those who don't know, Desert Spada it's from OP-01. It's an uncommon. It is a 1-cost counter where your leader or one of your characters gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. So it's a 1-cost 2K counter, but you look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and return them to the top or bottom of your deck in the order. So when your opponent comes in to attack you later in the game, you can counter out of one of their lesser attacks and then set your top 3 cards into whatever triggers you have coming, right? And then, hey, look at the trigger, draw 2, trash 1. We'll take it every time. You know, we'll take it every time. I'm running 2 Gum Gum Rains. This is a 0-cost 3,000 power counter if you trash a card from your hand. Because later in the game, you might not have the opportunity to keep 1 Dawn open at all times to run this Desert Spada. You might just want to trash it, like, you know, pay 0, where it's almost like you're trashing a 2K and a 1K for a 3K counter altogether. And that's going to get 2 cards out of your hand to turn on your leader's effect if you need it, potentially, right? It's potentially there. Excuse me. And since we're running 10, and really 18, 10 plus 8, yeah, 18 cards in this deck don't have a counter. 2 Katakuris, 4 Mihawks, 4 Yamatos, and then both of the 4 3000 Worlds and Red Rocks. So Gum Gum Rain is going to help ungunk your hand later in the game if needed. Where like, okay, I need a counter here, right? I need a counter out of this so I can keep going. So very strong interaction there. And the trigger's not bad. Bouncing a 2 or less back to the owner's hand. That could slow down a Zoro deck or a Law deck or something, right? You never know. Red Rock and 3000 Worlds need no explanation. They do exactly what they should do. I've seen a lot of lists running Sobbles, I think it's called. I've seen quite a few lists running that. And I'm not against that. It's like I think it's a 4 cost, bounce a 7. But I think for now I'm just going to go with 3000 Worlds and Red Rock. And I'll make adjustments from there if needed. Because I do have Mihawk popping a 7. I do have Yamato doing whatever she can do. I have Charlotte Katakuri doing his thing, you know. And then just lots and lots of blockers and, like, you know, utility type cards, 2K counters and whatnot. Strussen's nice because I am running, what is this, 4, 8, 10, 14, and then 14 more. Like, so I'm running about 30 triggers, you know what I mean? Almost 30 triggers. So Strussen as a 2 of shouldn't be too bad if I need to pop little blockers to get through for lethal. Stuff like that. In other words, otherwise it's just a 2K counter. We'll take it. So yeah, this is kind of the list I'm running with. I don't want this video to go on for too long. This is probably what I'm going to be taking to Friday night's tournament in my locals. Maybe I might go to a Thursday night tournament this week. We'll see what happens. I got a lot going on personally. But I'll probably bring this to Friday. More than likely, I'll be bringing this to Friday night. I'm not bringing it because I don't like the black-yellow list. The black-yellow list is very good to me. I feel like it resonates to me. And by the way, this is literally just the blue and yellow version of that black and yellow list. Like, if you want to see, like, let me... Again, I'm going to talk about my building, the way I build decks in another video. I want to talk about it. But this is literally the exact same list. Notice I'm running 10 of the, 10 of the big beaters or bruiser win condition. You can almost just classify these as win condition cards. 10 events, 10 2K counters, 10 of the trigger defenders, and 10 blockers. Just hardcore utility blockers in Sabo, Fukuro, and Borsellino. So again, this is just a 5x10 list. And it's an actual method of deck building you can use with any leader you want to. Right, especially if you're just playing locally and you're just trying to make a solid list. It is a really nice method that I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna introduce it in probably tomorrow's video or the next day's video, where it's just a nice way to build. It's just a really nice way to build a list, and it kind of covers all your bases. And then from there, it's really just the stepping stone, right? You're laying the foundation for a good deck, and then from there you can make adjustments and make it even better. But again, this is the Charlotte Linlin list that I'm running, the black-yellow list, and the blue-yellow one is basically the exact same thing, as well as you can, you know, translate over the cards, right? So I don't have Mihawk in black and yellow, so I have to run Charlotte Linlin. I don't have the setters like blue has in Doflamingo and Spada and all that, so I run these very resilient blockers in Borsellino, Fukuro, and Sabo. Then, you know, Sanji and Brûlé are the exact same. Nefeltari Vivi is literally just a spitting image of, Boa Hancock. Suru is basically my black equivalent to Kaya. Bartolomeo is like my black version of Strussen. And you could run Strussen instead of Bartolomeo. That's completely your call. And then I've got Beige, of course. I wouldn't recommend going down Beige. It's just potentially too game winning. Like it can potentially win you the game. It's too strong. it could do too much. It has too much potential. There we go. I can't even talk. And instead of running so in this list, Narukabura Arrow makes a little more sense. It doesn't make as much sense in the Blue Yellow Queen list because your turn when you have 10 Dawn and you have Yamato in hand. With Queen, you're going to play Yamato, and then you're going to activate your Queen's effect, right? Or vice versa, I guess, if you wanted to, but you get the point. In this list, it's about leaving 1 Dawn active after playing your Yamato, so now you can survive the next turn and not lose too much life. It's a good way to get back in the game. It has a lot of synergy in that way. And yeah, and instead of running Thunderbolts in the blue-yellow list and the Impact Wave, I just run straight removal. Like no event counters, just straight removal. So yeah, that's kind of the only difference. Right, guys, I hope y'all did like that. Let me go back to the blue-yellow list. I think this is the exact one, unless I made some changes recently. Yes, I was going to say I'd messed with it a little bit before posting it, where I'd taken out the Narukabura arrows But everything else, I think, is the same. Yeah, it is. So let me just toss those. Go back to full screen. Search it up. Let me grab the Gum Gum. There it is. Okay, and now it's back to normal, or back to how I had it. Okay, let me blow it up so you guys can see it if y'all want to try it out. And by all means, I do want to, as usual, guys, I want to know what you guys have to say. I want to know what you guys think about the list. Like I said, I didn't copy anyone's list. I did get some ideas here and there, from other lists. Like the Desert Spot, I thought was just a really cool tech card where it's a 2K counter and it's a way to set your top cards where it's like, okay, I'll just change all this around and I'll like adjust a beige, you know, to the top of my deck, so that way, you know, next turn when I attack with my queen, I'm gonna set that card. Or you guys get what I'm saying. I messed up the order there, but you know what I'm saying. Where you'll put beige as the second card, so that way you draw a card for the turn and then use your queen's attack to put the card on top. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if that was clumsy, but it allows you to do a lot of tricks. But yeah, this is the list I'm gonna be messing around with on Friday. Tell me what you guys think, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As usual, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do. And until next time, guys, peace.